Hey, Sabor.
Oh, sorry. Evening.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you today?
Awesome. All is well.
How's the coaching?
Well, I have a mastermind, I call it, coming up, starting on the first, the 3 day,
Okay.
and that'll be that'll be the first thing that I do with the virtual assistant. So right now I got about I think 20 people signed up.
Oh, nice. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's all mortgage notes.
Huh?
It's all mortgage notes.
Yep. Let's talk about that and get them in the program. Um, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Mhm.
Congratulations there. How's everything else? The business?
Everything is good. I'm trying to sell the day. Well, I'm not trying. I'm working at selling the daycare.
Oh, really?
I didn't tell you.
Uh-uh.
Well, I'm not. Well, I say selling the daycare. I'm not really selling the business per se. Um, I am, but I'm not. So I'm doing it like I'm selling all my stuff. So it's a lot easier than coming up with like this whole complete plan. And when you get in order for the person to get money, you got to show all of my financials and everything.
Hmm.
So I'm not basing it on my financials, but she'll have clients when she starts. So um, she'll be making money when she starts.
Okay.
But I'm doing it more like I'm selling my stuff because it's a lot easier to sell stuff than it is to sell a business.
Got
A
you.
lot more paperwork, a lot more paperwork.
I got you.
hmm So that should be well, I put a rush on her, so that should be hopefully by the middle of next month.
Hmm.
So yeah, the daycare. So I'm just kind of tired of I'm tired of the childcare business.
Yeah, I can dig it. I can imagine.
hmm So I'm tired of the childcare business. I need to, do something else. Like so, but I'm gonna keep the business itself, the business name, but I'm gonna
Have you thought about seller financing the business?
I did say bore, and then I was just like, do I want to do that
Uh,
or do I want to walk away? Because like if something happens, she don't pay, blah blah. You know what I mean?
hmm.
In Connecticut, it's much harder to get your money from people.
Hmm.
The legal system,
Hmm.
it's just a lot more difficult. So I kind of want to just walk away. I mean, I could probably make money if she keeps it. I had it for 14 years, so if she keeps it, then I definitely make money. Unless I just did like a large deposit and then finance the rest.
Hmm.
I could do that, but I kind of like want to make sure I get my money. Because you know, everyone run business so well.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not saying she won't. I'm just saying, you know, I don't want to be on the back end of it, and collect.
The heck?
That's all. I didn't think about it though.
Huh? Hold on. Huh?
Mhm.
How are you calling me?
Because you won't answer your phone. I know how to reach you.
Oh Lord, you reaching me through there. I didn't know my ringer is off. I'm like, my Alexa just started talking. I'm like, huh? Hold on, y'all. What's going on, Joy?
I will stalk you.
Mute yourself, Sabor. Mute yourself. Hey, Taylor. Hey, Raquel.
Hey,
Hey, I heard you, Kadir. I heard you, Kadir.
How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
doing
Awesome.
good.
Good, good.
Good, good.
Raquel, you better answer in that group text.
Oh, the one that Jasmine said?
Yes.
I'm trying to finagle something. Really, be quiet.
Well, just tell her you trying to finagle.
I'll text her individually on that one.
Yep.
I gotta get rid of this technology, y'all.
Uh-oh. That's not happening.
Because this they put this all this stupid smart stuff in this house, right? So I don't know. We have one of these Alexa things in the office that like plays like different screens and stuff. So it started popping up, and I'm like, "What is this popping?" I'm staring at it while you're talking to me, bro. And here's Go Joy face pop up on the screen. I'm like, "How you get on with this?"
Oh, really?
Yeah, she
Oh,
popped up.
wow.
I know how to stalk you, don't I? I'm like, sheesh.
Yes,
I didn't even know it did it, y'all. I swear I did. Now I gotta find out how to get it.
that is so cool.
You didn't know the house was that smart.
No, it's this stupid thing in front of her. I didn't know it pops up. Like, you know how you have the monitor for like cameras and all that stuff in your office?
Am I coming in?
Yes.
Okay. Arrows are having a problem getting in. They just sent me a link, but they couldn't
Hey
get in.
guys,
Okay.
we got
yeah.
in. Hey everybody. Hey team.
Hello.
Hey.
Anybody heard anything, Haros? You heard anything
Well,
about
have
the
you heard
property?
anything?
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on with that property and not
Sabor,
Activity and interest.
Sabor. So I need to get ready. What do you want me to start with Canary experience?
Sure.
And then I'll do the different ideas.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
your
I
show.
don't
It's your show.
know, it's your group.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
All right. Tell me when we should start.
Okay. We always do our declaration first, and then I'll just introduce you to the group and go ahead and let you start.
Okay.
Rosie, you have a declaration, or you want me to pull it up? You have it pulled up? You're muted. I see your mouth moving, but you're
Yes.
okay.
I can share screen.
Yes, all yours.
Thank you. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Y'all good? Everybody's good?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Y'all ready to learn about how you can create generational wealth and create that wealth for generations and generations and generations and generations. Somebody say generation.
Generation.
Generations.
Yes, come. This is so exciting. I love this program. I love the folks who have all of you who have come on tonight, and you are so interested in learning more about how you can create generational wealth. This whole note investing part of what we do is much larger. I mean, it is huge. Sabor has so much information in him that it'll take generations for us to actually get it out of him, right? So, but we're gonna take what we can now, and we're going to take what he gives us, and then we're going to utilize that so that we can get on this path and do what we need to do to create that wealth, not just for us, but for many generations to come. So let's begin. Well, first, I want everybody to just unmute yourselves. And then I want you to just give such a huge clap and a hooray for our mentor, Sabor Demary, and his wife,
Hey.
Joy.
Hey, whoa.
Yeah.
We are so thankful for them and for all the energy and power and empowerment that they place into every one of us and into their own lives. So we bless you guys, Sabors, who want to throw all those love and
Thank you,
blessings
thank
back
you, thank
towards
you,
you
thank
guys. So you guys can remain unmuted. We're going to do our declaration. I am Coach Rosie. If anybody wants to know more about the program, they can certainly reach out to me at Coach Rosie at DeMaryFunding.com. I don't even know what it is. Rosie at DeMaryFunding.com. You can always reach out to me. But here's our declaration. I'd like for you to repeat after me. It says, "This is my life.
This
This
is
is
my
my
life.
life.
This is my.
I declare today my mindset has changed.
I
Declare
today
today
my
my
mindset
mindset
has
has
changed.
changed.
I am clear about my path.
I am
clear
clear
about
about my path.
I am debt free.
I
am
am
debt-free.
debt-free.
I walk in the understanding of my finances.
I walk in the
understanding of my
finances.
I control my spending habits.
I
control my spending habits.
I am not a consumer.
I
am not a
consumer.
I am an investor.
I am an
investor.
My money works for me.
My
money
works
works
for
for
me.
All things are possible to me because I believe.
All
things are
because
possible to me because I believe.
I am financially sexy.
I
am
financially sexy.
And I won't give up.
And
I won't give up.
Everybody give yourselves a nice shout and praise. All right, all right. Now, I present to you guys on tonight our mentor. All of you know him, I think, that are on the line tonight. But I just present to you Sabor Demary as he begins the rest of our program.
Hey,
Woo-hoo!
everybody. So y'all gotta forgive me. I literally have not slept in almost 48 hours. My eye, you can see it. I'm dead. I'm dead. I've been working that hard. So tonight I want to bring on Greg and Dawn Phelps. I met them probably about 6-7 years ago. I was brokering some mortgage notes for him and some non-performing mortgage notes for him, and we sparked up a friendship. So at that time I was living in Tennessee, so we was going out spotting out properties and stuff like that. And our partnership never panned out to anything really, but you know, we did a lot of networking and started communicating and building good friendship from that. Times going out looking at properties for him, right? Lo and behold, he sells his house in California and say, "Oh, guess where we're moving? We're moving to Memphis." That's my market. So I was like, "Oh, are you serious? Like, you gonna get up and move?" He's like, "Yeah, we're moving." I'm like, "Oh, hey." You're like, I was like, that was random, but okay. But from there, you know, he's always been a private investor with that group, or you know, he's always do deals. He has multiple deals. He buys property multiple ways. So I asked him to come on tonight and speak to you all, so he can tell you about his journey in the multiple ways that he buys real estate. So maybe you can help somebody. Renee asked, "Are we meeting tonight?" Yes. Sorry.
Am I on?
Yes, I'm sorry, Greg. But everybody, Greg Phelps, please give him a round of applause and welcome.
Woo! Welcome.
Welcome.
So great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Dawn's not here right now. She's putting in a security camera. We didn't connect on what time, what our schedules were like. But hope she's supposed to be here any minute now, but, I wanted to start that, I don't think I have any more knowledge than what you guys have. I'm just really, Don and I are just really putting pedal to the metal on this. And I'm gonna share an experience with you that kind of illustrates that.
Are you able to turn your camera on? If that's okay, are you able?
Help me. What do I do?
So tap the bottom. Are you on a phone or a laptop?
Laptop.
So at the very bottom of your screen to the left, you'll see a little microphone and you'll see a video camera.
Okay,
Click the
start,
video at the
start
bottom.
video.
Yep,
Okay,
just click that. It should come on.
okay. I got the drop up window.
Drop
Video
window.
setting.
Nope, you don't need a drop window or anything. At the bottom of the screen, it should say, there's a little microphone, a picture of a microphone, the left side.
Okay, mute.
Yep, and then there's a video camera. Just click the video camera.
I don't have that in the drop down.
It should just be a picture right next to it.
I got the microphone, and to the left is the start video.
That's the one, the start
Yep,
video.
That's the one.
Okay, start video. Okay. So just start video.
There you
Ah,
are. Woohoo!
that is a scary sight. I think we need to turn that off. Yay.
That's awesome. Thank you.
All right. So does everybody in here do seller financing?
Pretty
I
much.
don't
so.
see
Pretty much.
everybody.
Majority, yes, the majority of the people here, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I sent this attachment to Sabor and he wanted me to share this. We bought a property on a website called Zone. And that's, I think he mentioned last week after we hung up, Jose told me that he wanted me to share other ideas and we did zone.com. They sell REOs. And so let me look at my notes because I didn't have time to go over the notes. I just did this like 1 a.m, just kind of slam this together.
Mhm.
This looks a little bit better than the first version, right, Sabor? It's just no spaces, no nothing. I sent it over to him again earlier today. So let's see. I'm reading through my stuff, sorry. So smart investors don't normally bid until the last 15 minutes of an auction. And this happened to be the second auction of this property, which means that the bank might have received a bid, but it wasn't high enough to their liking. So on this one, the opening bid, this is a property in Memphis. The opening bid happened to where they wanted to start was 23,000. And the auction was supposed to take 3 days. And so for 2.5 days, there were no bids. So the bank brings the opening bid down to 20,000 on a property that I thought was valued at 85. So maybe the bank was a motivated seller. I don't know, but about 20 minutes before the end of the auction, 4 bids come in, and I thought I better put my bid in. Mine was at 29,000, and all auctions allow an extension of 5 to 15 minutes after the last bid for any other bidders. So I'm thinking there's got to be some other bidders that come in. Because that's how these auctions go. They'll wait till the last second before it ends and then they'll put in a bid. And then it will extend another 5 to 15 minutes according to the auctioneer, how they want to have it set up. So then no bidders come in. So I was surprised. And so we got an $85,000 property for $29,000. So I'm thinking, well, that was pretty lucky.
Mhm.
So then we got a notice that the bank didn't like our winning bid, so they rejected it. So I thought, no problem. I got to find another property. One day later, I get an email from the auctioneer saying that they'd like to escalate this for a management review and see if they can get a better response for us from the bank. And they asked us if we don't mind filling out a form so that we can present it to the seller again. So I'm thinking, we're not going to get that, but it wouldn't hurt if we send it in. So they didn't ask for any money or anything like that. So a couple days later, we get an email back saying that the bank wants to counter at 40. So we thought about that, and Don wasn't real comfortable with the area, but it wasn't bad. And the house looked like it was in great shape. I mean, there was no repairs needed. So we thought about it and we countered at 36. And I mean, 36, that's, I think it's like 45% of value. And the auctioneer, he said he happens to know the bank and that they're one of their biggest common sellers, repeat sellers. And he thought we had a 75% chance of getting the property at that price of 36. So I thought, great. So I thought we might hear back from him in a few days. And remember, the bank failed to sell the property twice. So I thought, okay, they got to be a motivated seller to unload this. And we didn't hear back for 8 days. And I think the day before, or it might have been hours before, they replied, or the auctioneer replied back. I said, this offer that we have, we're going to withdraw because we're going to start looking at other stuff and put our money to work. And like within an hour after I said that, they came back and said, the seller accepted. And so I was like, wow, maybe that was lucky. So then, and you're going to see a trend in this. So then we had to go to, first we had to go back to, we had to go over to the occupants because they ended up, they didn't know that there was a second mortgage on the property, and the second is the one that foreclosed. And so they didn't even know that they got foreclosed on. And the bank just didn't evict them. They just wanted to get rid of it. They didn't want to go through the eviction process, which I need to digress for a minute. I'm sure most of you guys know what cash for keys are for owner occupants, right? You ever
Yep.
thought of doing cash for keys for tenants? The board?
Cash for keys. I never thought about it, but cash for keys for tenants.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Cash for keys for tenants? Like,
That, I think that means that you just paid them money to move out.
Yes.
Yeah. Same as cash for keys for owner.
So most people use
Well,
that
so,
strategy.
but why would you do cash for keys for a tenant if you own the property?
Because so especially in these areas for that are judicial, instead of going through the foreclosure process, they would rather pay them to move to get them out of their property opposed to going through that process.
Or eviction, because it's a long process.
Right.
Yeah, this is a tenant, not an owner, so it's not foreclosure.
Well, to answer your question, Saborn, to support what everybody else is saying, this property, they were in it for 105 days. And so that's not going to support the velocity of banking process, right? We want to get money, have our money turn as quick as possible, right?
Mhm.
Sabor?
Yeah.
So I thought about that, and I'm just it's crazy what's happening to us right now, but I'll explain that later. But I didn't want to forget that point. I did find somebody. I wasn't looking for him, but things are just, everybody's coming to us with ideas and possibilities, and I understand that you guys teach abundance and law of attraction, and we must be doing everything right because we're not looking for stuff, it's looking for us, which is it's wild. But we ended up finding somebody that does this, and so I asked him how we can anybody that's working in Memphis knows things don't move that quick here. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm coming from California, and people, when they've got a deadline, they move out or whatever they have to do, they respect deadlines. And that's not the case here. And so that's why I was thinking, why not do this? And I said to this guy, and I just talked to him today, he was approaching us on one of our deals, and he happened to be an investor. And so he wanted to do owner non-occupant. So that wasn't going to fit the model, but I just kept talking to him, and we were exchanging ideas and what we know and what what areas we like in the nation. And I asked him about if he's ever done that, cash for keys. And so I asked him, how do you get them out when your agreed on date is? And he said he writes up, he's got a legal contract. He just emailed it to me this morning or this afternoon. So I'll send that to you, Sabor, and see what you think. But I don't think it's notarized. It's just a document that is signed, and they get the cash on getting out of there.
Okay.
So
let me ask you this though, before you go on. So
Go on.
I don't know how to pronounce it. How you pronounce it in the website? That you built that last property on. What is it called? Zone. Sorry, couldn't think of it. So on Zone, what was the process? Do you have to pay for a monthly membership to be able to bid on properties, or do you just? Okay, so it's free.
None of the auction sites ask for a membership fee. A lot of them will ask for an upfront deposit to be able to bid on that property, and that's for live auctions or for online auctions.
So I'm sorry. So
how that works.
So you said, so you say you have to put in a fee?
Not all of them, a lot of them. I'm not sure what percentage of them, but I'll go over that whole process. Go ahead, keep asking your questions on that.
No, I just wanted to ask that because a lot of times people are looking for properties, and we know MLS and stuff like that, but we never think about going to the auction websites as you did. Now, how once you won the property, how fast did you have to get the money over to the bank or whoever it was you're buying the property from?
Two different answers to that. The first one is going to live auctions. That one's kind of a pain. You got to come up with the money. I've heard two different answers on live auction, and that is when you leave the building. And then I talked to another person where they said that you can, if you're local, you can go to a bank and get the money and come back, like, and they didn't specify amount of time, but I'm sure it's within, maybe a half hour to an hour, however long they want to stay. And usually the auctioneer is an attorney firm, acting kind of like a real estate listing agent. So they're the seller and the auctioneer is just a representative of the auction site, whether that be Zome or auction.com. There's a lot of local real estate companies throughout the nation that act as auctioneers.
So are the auctioneers collecting the funds too to give to the
Yes, they are kind of like the escrow company.
got you. Okay.
And so in a live auction, they need the money that day. And so what they recommend is that you get several money orders that you got to guess how much it's going to be. And you can you can overpay and then they will refund you. It's just kind of a pain. And you got to come with cashier's checks for all of this. And you make them out to yourself, or I think you can make them out to, I can't remember whether it's the auctioneer or whether it's the attorney firm that is the agent for the owner.
So
now Zome is selling REOs, only REOs. Auction.com, which I think they're the largest auction website in the nation, they do everybody, owner occupants, and also you cannot see inside the property. Well, I want to say there are some, but they're pretty hard to find. There aren't very many that you get to see inside a property.
So I was about to tell people REO, just in case anybody on the phone that don't know, REO is real estate, bank owned real estate. So the bank is actually selling off a property they don't foreclose or took back some type of way. And that's what the foreclosure process they started. But in this case, they didn't actually they did foreclose on them because the bank owned back the note. Okay, never mind. I'm just thinking.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking for our group, like if you went to a live.
Now, let me clarify that.
Mhm.
Most of the ones that I'm seeing of the REOs, because for a while, let's say, I'm trying to think now, because we got here in September, I want to say from September to December or January, they were doing local ones that were pretty nice here in Memphis. They were all occupied. And so what that means is the bank didn't evict them. Those are the previous owner.
Got you. So let me, so what about the online auction? How long do you have to have for your money in? Because you have my wheels turning.
Yeah.
I'm about to mention this to something to the group.
That's okay. Keep asking. They're usually 1 to 3 days for the whole auction period. And like I said in the previously in the talk, you're not going to get any action until a couple hours, maybe a half hour before the end. So there's no action. And in this, the seller brought the price down so that you get some activity what happens a lot is that the lower the price, the more activity you get, and then there's that sense of momentum, and then it can take off. I mean, if you did a $1 minimum bid, you could get into a kind of a frenzy, because then everybody's trying to get a deal. And if you're only going up little increments, if you're starting at, let's say, $1,000, you might be going up $100 increments. Then once you get up higher, like ours were like, I think there were $1,500 increments. What else?
Oh no, so this is my thought to my group, right? So we talk about leveraging, right? And how to leverage your credit. So in a situation like this, you bid on the property, you go to one of the websites, either auction or I still can't pronounce the name. You go to one of the websites and you bid on the property, right? Now, how do you leverage your credit card that fast? So this is free game. You got to have a personal PayPal and you have to have a business PayPal, right? You're going to use your business PayPal account to link the cards, our card that you're liquidating, right? And you're going to send it as that money as a friend from that card. They're going to ask you, like, do you want to use a PayPal balance or a credit card or blah, blah, blah. You're going to send that money from that card to your personal PayPal. And you want to transfer that money instantly to your bank account. Now you have your funds for your real estate deal.
Can you say that again, Sabor?
Yes, ma'am. So you're going to have a business PayPal account and a personal PayPal account. Okay. You're going to link all the credit cards that you want onto the business, nothing on the personal side, on the business, right? When you go at the bottom of your PayPal, you're going to hit send money. You're going to send money to yourself, your personal PayPal account. From the credit card, you're gonna put in the dollar amount that you want to send to that person, and you're gonna get an email instantly that you receive money on the personal side. Then what you want to do on that and on the personal side, just log in and transfer that money instantly. I know it's a fee. There is a small fee when you transfer instantly, or if you're online auction, what Greg said, it takes a day. You don't have to have the money for a day or two. You could do the free one. And you receive all your funds, but I think it's I want to say it's a 1 business day before that money is transferred into your account. But if you do the instantly, it's instantly there. That way you have the money when you bid on these properties and you win the bid, you know what I mean? That's leverage. That's how you leverage your lines of credit in order for you to purchase real estate there. Just a little free game. But anyway, as he was talking, I was like, that's why I was asking how fast do you have to have the money for the online and the live one. But if you know, if
Okay, but
go ahead.
Sabor, I haven't finished answering that question because it goes off into a whole bunch of different possibilities. Online auction, like I said, it's 1 to 3 days. You're usually getting 20 to 30 days to close. And sometimes you're not putting up any money at all until you close. I don't know why we didn't have to put down a deposit to be registered as a potential buyer, but we didn't have to put any money down. So again, 20 to 30 days, you don't have to come up with anything. They're asking for a deposit to be registered.
I have a question. Do you know if that Zoom is just one bank or is it several different banks? And maybe that's why different banks have different criteria about how you purchase.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with the website. Well, the website is an agent. And they aren't the seller. They're just an agent.
Gotcha.
And I had some other thought. Say the question again, because I had some other thoughts to you.
My question was, on that website that you use for your auction, you said the Zoom is the agent, so there's probably several different banks that they're working with for those properties.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they got auctions all over. Yeah.
I mean, how many banks are there in the nation? And that's
Mm.
how they're selling them. There are some realtors I know that are a listing agent where they'll put it on the MLS. But I'm thinking most banks are mostly selling them through websites, not realtors. So you got a few different agents. You've got the auction website as an agent. You've got, if it doesn't sell, well, I'm thinking like three different things here. Who puts it on the website is an attorney firm that is acting on behalf of the bank. So you've got the website, you've got the attorney firm, and you've got the bank. So if I answered that question in full, I'm going to go over an example of what you just said. Auction.com had one listed, and they, here in Memphis, they have the live ones they have at the county, on the county steps. And I happened to be, we had our cash tied up in a property that we were in escrow, and it ended up dropping out because the buyer, the seller had a commitment with another buyer, and they tried to get out of it, and they didn't get the release. And so after I'm finished here, Sabor, you could probably explain this much better than I can, but it ended up that the seller couldn't sell to us because the other buyer wouldn't release, so they had a lien on the property, and so it had clouded title. So you probably could explain that much better than I could, Sabor.
Yeah, so anytime there's a lien on the property, for anybody that don't know, that's why we always get a title search done. We spoke about this before, and it's also in the course material. You have to have a clean chain of title. What happened is the reason what I always say why you have to have a clean chain of title. He ended up running into a brick wall. The previous owner still had a lien against the property and wouldn't release that lien. So now he cannot buy that property, even though in his eyes he should have been able to, but because there was a break in this chain of assignment, he couldn't do it. So that's why we always make sure you get a title search and there's a clean chain of assignment. Only a chain of assignment means which person bought the house, which person sold the house, which person bought the house. Is just a chain of all the previous owners. In his situation, there was a break in the chain, and that break, that guy wouldn't release it. And a lot of times that happens when a homeowner, say like you go buy a home, right? And the homeowner says that, well, I'll give you $30,000 to the purchase, but he's putting a note on you. Right, so he's selling the house to you, but he's selling the house to you with the conditions of you paying him $30,000 on a second mortgage on top of your regular mortgage. He's giving you like a down payment option. He puts a lien on you, then you try to sell that house, but you never actually finish paying him off. He doesn't have to sell his lien. Makes sense?
I missed the end when you said he doesn't have to sell the lien.
Yeah, so if Greg, so you own the house, right? But you bought it from me, and I said, hey, I'm gonna give you a second mortgage for your down payment. You know how owners kick back piece of the property. So I said, I'll give you a second mortgage for 30 years. Right?
Right.
And then Greg goes to buy that property from you, Nanette. But he can't buy that property because I still have a lien on that property. That mortgage note is a lien. And I won't release that lien. So he cannot buy
Got
that.
it.
Mhm.
does everybody understand what a quitclaim is?
What's
Not
a
everybody.
deed? What is a deed? Everybody should know this. What's the difference between a deed and a mortgage? This is a question in the course. A deed only transfer title. So a quit claim would be a form of transferring title to a person. Go ahead, Greg, though.
The reason I asked that is I could have bought this property on a quitclaim and there'd still be the lien on it. So it would have been clouded title. So if any of you find a property that it was previously quitclaimed, there's a possibility that that's not going to have clear title on it. So why don't you go into more detail on that, Sabor?
Sure. So on a quit claim deed, right? So any type of thing that says deed is transferring ownership. But what a quit claim deed is, that, trying to give an example. So if I'm transferring ownership to somebody else without a title search. So I can transfer ownership to somebody else without a title. That is what it's going to be. I want to transfer my house to my daughter, quit claim it over to her. She's going to assume all the rights. They don't have to have title. She doesn't have to be on title. You know what I mean? That is going to, quit claim deed is still recorded with the county, all the same stuff. Makes sense.
So you could still do a quick claim if there's a mortgage on it? Because it's being recorded with the county?
You will have to still contact they're going to assume your mortgage, you're going to have to call your lender and let them know. Your lender has to be okay with that, but I don't think 9 out of 10 the lender ever says, oh, you can't do that. You have to do a whole new mortgage and all that stuff over again. They don't really do that. They're just whoever's making the payments on, they're making those payments.
So, hey, Sabora, I just wanted to just backtrack just a little bit. When you talked about the leveraging your credit with the PayPal business and personal.
Mhm.
So just so, you know, just a nugget, if you do that, the transfer won't happen in a day if you are brand new. Your funds will be on hold for a certain amount of time until they verify you. So if you're in that process of doing that, then you need to set that up first and start using it. So when a situation arises, you're ready.
Yeah. So, you know, like for new businesses that never had a business PayPal, first time you transfer money, or they're gonna put a hold on your funds for like, I think it was like almost 7 days, right? Or it's it's long. So so if you're going to be leveraging your lines of credit through your business PayPal, make sure you start transferring small funds to people or whatever. You know, I forgot about the hold. I think it was Coach Renee that actually went to go transfer funds before and then end up holding us up on a deal, right, Renee, or something like that. It held us up.
Yeah, I think it was between me, you, and Rosie when we were doing that, and then it was a hold on the account for like it was like about 7 days.
Yeah, 7 days. So it just basically pushed us back a little bit, but just that's a good nugget, because I don't want anybody that's new and never did a transfer and get to go start bidding on properties and win the property and your money's stuck for 7 days.
That's correct. So I just wanted to throw that out there just because you mentioned it.
Thank you.
Well prepared, because we don't want them to come back and say, well, you said that, and then they don't have.
Yeah, and a lot of times people freak out too. You know, you're just first time transferring, and they put a hold on your funds. You're like, oh, what did I do wrong? You know, and you're freaking out. So you don't have to freak out. That is just their normal process. First time you transfer funds, they have to verify you and your business. So don't say Sabor didn't tell you.
Sabor didn't tell you.
The boy didn't tell you. Renee told you.
Yeah. So Greg, let me ask you this. So I know you buy houses on auctions. I've known you to buy mortgage notes too. What other type of ways have you bought real estate?
Tax liens, tax deeds.
I'm sorry, what's
No.
the difference?
Huh?
Can you explain the difference between tax lien and tax deeds?
Probably not as good as you can, but
Yeah.
tax deed, you're buying the property. Tax lien, I know it's were mentioned earlier, liens are a debt on the property, just like a mortgage is a debt on the property. So when you buy a tax lien, you're buying debt, just like you're buying a mortgage note. So when somebody gets behind on their taxes, you can buy, there are states that will sell tax deeds, and there are other states will sell tax liens. So if you're buying a tax lien, you're gonna buy the tax balance that the owner is behind on their payments. And so let's say they're behind 10,000 and you see a property that is $200,000 property. So that's not going to go for 10,000. That might go for 100,000 with the idea that they're not going to pay off the balance. Now they're probably going to pay that off. If they got a $200,000 home, they probably have enough cash that they could come up with that money. So you're weighing on the tax lien example, you're weighing, okay, do I think they're going to pay it off? And if they do, you get a state, or let's see, a county, the county sets the interest rate that you get based on how long they keep that the loan is outstanding, and then you just get that back.
The redemption period. So each county, if you're going to buy a tax lien, there is a redemption period for the people that own the home to come back and make those payments, and you're going to get a 10% for investing. There's a lot of people that do that because they're getting a 10% return. Their money's hold up, say 30, 90 days, and then the homeowner come back and buy that, pay off that lien that was on their property. Then you just get 10% of your money that was held. So that is a good return too. There's a lot of people that invest that way. Either they're going to get a property or they're going to get 10%. It's gold.
So the most recent ones we did, or which it ended up, it was good that we didn't, because I found out that we can't resell them here in Shelby County in Tennessee. There's a 4-year time frame that I can't resell that property. I have clear title, but I can't resell it.
Really? Why is that?
The taxes?
Mr. Creasy emailed that to me.
So hold on.
Go ahead.
So if you buy this is a tax lien or a tax deed you're talking about?
Well, Shelby County is a tax lien area.
Okay. So if you
I
buy
just sent
tax,
this to Jose earlier today.
okay. So if you buy tax lien, you cannot sell, then you get the property back. You cannot resell for 4 years. That's strange. You're muted, Rosie. I see your mouth moving, but that's really, really strange.
That's true in Alabama as well. So there's still a period of time, like that redemption, that the owner can still come back and claim that property.
How?
See,
If you have
Within the
how would you have
redemption
put-
period.
Because
How-
that's the way the
Oh.
state works, man.
wait a
Hey,
minute,
Kelly.
I just got a
So-
question. hold on.
Go ahead.
California.
Go ahead.
So Rosie, in Alabama, so if you buy that, so are you saying to me that that redemption period is gonna be 4 years?
I
So-
think it's 5 in Alabama, but yes.
All right,
So
so
some
question-
states do.
so if in Alabama that property is, you can't resell it for 4 years and and they come back and say, hey, I want my property back, do they have to repay you all that money? Plus
Yes, yes.
the interest on that property?
Yeah, you're not losing out. It's not that you're losing out, but yes.
But so how do you keep that property functioning? Is you don't want to make it a rental, so would you do subject to with a or a lease option for 4 years until whatever that redemption period up, just to make sure?
Can you do a
Yeah,
subject?
you would have to do that.
But can you do that in a subject to if the person is coming back or?
That's why I
Yeah,
say
I
you
think-
you can do a
I
you
think
can do a lease option, Renee. I would say do a lease option. Or you can do a land contract, you know, well, I would do probably a lease option with the
So
redemption
my
period.
only question would be to that is this: if the person comes back, oh, so you're saying you would do it after the 4-year period?
No, I would do it while during the redemption period. I would
Okay.
do a lease option to somebody else. That way I can still have money coming in off that thing. After 4 years, either they're gonna purchase the property, or those people are gonna come back and try to take back the property. Either way, if they don't come back, then I'll just go ahead and sell that property to them.
Right.
You know?
But if
Well,
they
what do
do
you-
come
But
back,
what do you do when they come back before the
my
4 years?
There's gonna be part of the lease option, you know, in your lease option agreement, at the term, if you, we're gonna have to see, you know, I would
but that would be
investigate.
tricky, I would think, because if in fact that you did a lease option for the 4, or you do it year to year, so you could do a lease option year to year. opposed
Smart. I like that.
to
Yeah.
year period, right? Because that'll give you a little bit more flexibility in the event that if something did happen, you have a little bit more room to wiggle and you're not tied to a contract, right?
I like that.
So if you did the lease contract, so you couldn't do a subject to with that type of arrangement, because with the unless you are actually doing a subject to with the original owner who owns the taxes.
Yes. That's why I never got it. I've always had a hard time. I always had a hard time wrapping my head around tax lien. That's why I
Yeah,
call Greg.
because California, they cloud the title for a whole year when you get a property like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it would be beneficial. I mean, and for you, Greg, and you can't sell it for 4 years, then you could do a lease to own or lease option on a year-to-year basis. So if that individual came back, you still have the option to kind of get out of that situation and not be tied to that.
But most of your tax liens that you bought, Greg, was in Ohio, right?
No, that's a, I can't remember. I haven't done any in Ohio. I know they're available like in Dayton, they have them once a week. And the prices are good. But
I'm sorry.
we did some in Detroit
There you go,
and
Michigan.
those, go ahead.
No, I couldn't remember. I thought it was Ohio, but it was Michigan. I couldn't remember.
Right.
I think that's the only place that we've done them is Detroit.
Let me tell y'all a story this week that happened that I was working with this guy. So go ahead, Annette. This is I just heard Greg say something about liens. I just want to make sure everybody's aware. But go ahead, ask your question first, Annette.
You go first.
Okay, so I'm working with this guy. He does a whole bunch of seller finance mortgage notes in Virginia. However, he does land contracts. The problem with his land contract, and it makes it hard for me to sell these mortgage notes, is because he never conveyed or transferred title. He just did a table contract with the, people. So a lot of hedge fund companies, they want to clean, like when we go to Mr. Creasy and we have a settlement statement, we, go through these people. What he's doing is just getting a regular piece of paper, scrambled all up with their information on there, and another, his paperwork is all over the place, right? So anyways, he was trying to sell or finance this property. He had a contractor cut in, and this is, for example, for everybody to know, make sure if you're going to have a contract to go through Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, right? And have them do those same day services. He got a subcontractor to do his rehab. The subcontractor put a lien on the property for non-payment. When he went to go sell that property, the lien is still on that property. You cannot sell a property if your contractor put a lien against you. Only thing you can do is the Harlow's looking like they must have ran through that for. The only thing, and if you're a contractor on the call too, if somebody hire you and they don't pay, you put a lien on their property. But anyways, one of the properties he couldn't sell a financing. He got kicked back because there was a lien on it, and again the contractor wanted to be paid out. Luckily, the contractor didn't start the foreclosure process, because the contractor can push the foreclosure process on the property, make people pay out the proceeds of their property, even if they don't want to keep their property.
So in that situation, was he not able to negotiate anything with that contractor?
I mean, he could have paid him, but he kept saying that he felt like he didn't have to pay the contractor. It was a bunk job, so to say. The contractor did finish the job, but the dude didn't like the job. So he decided not to pay the contractor the remaining of the balance.
Can you explain table contract?
Sure, a table contract is just just a regular transfer of ownership. You just have a assignment for deed instead of a more going through a title company and they're writing up all the stuff like that. Give me one second though.
Is it the same as a quick claim?
No. So assignment for deed is a table contract that is written up for transferring ownership. Here, I'll pull one up so you can see it. It's better for me to try to explain it. This is everybody see my screen?
Yep, it's coming up.
All right.
Okay.
So this is a table contract. I'm going to sell a property to somebody. A lot of times it's going to be one or two things. I'm going to have an underlying mortgage on it. Can you see that, Greg? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull it up. So you have
Oh, you're good.
So it can be one or two things. I have an underlying mortgage on it, or I just don't want to transfer title over to these people. They would get a warranty deed after they made all their payments to me, right? So this is the way it looks. This is going to be say this assignment of deed on the date that you're going to be doing between. I just put this is my company, and blah blah blah. And this is their address. But down here is where it lays out the terms of all that highlighted. It lays out the terms of this agreement. It's going to tell you how much they're going to put down, what this total sale is going to be, what their monthly payment is going to be, and everything like that. It's all written in here. Only thing I don't have in here is the taxes. However, taxes are on here. If you follow me, taxes are down here. So in this situation, taxes is going to be $43 a month, $95 a month. Up here in their note, their monthly payment was $394.03. With those taxes and so you just want to make sure they understand this is what their total payment is going to be.
So when you say table contract,
this is a table contract. It's just
basically
recorded. It's just
getting-
to the county.
you're not getting insurance on title.
They're not transferring title. You still own the property. You still own ownership. It's in here that once they pay off the property, they will receive a warranty deed transferring ownership of that. It makes the table contract also makes it easier for you not to have to go through the foreclosure process, right? If I have this table contract, it's like a lease option or a rental agreement, then I only have to evict them.
It's basically the same thing as a car, the way a car works when you get a loan on a car. They don't give you the title till you pay it off.
Right, exactly.
Got it.
Well,
I got a question on a deal that I just did where the owner quit claimed it to a contractor, and the contractor acted like he was the seller. And the contractor, he didn't file it. It was just with the county. So the county thinks that the owner is the original owner. And the contractor did a lease with the owner. So the owner was kind of like the tenant. So now when I buy, there's a lease on the to the owner, and I want to evict him, but the lease goes until the end of March. Do I have to honor that lease?
So I'm gonna tell y'all like this: anytime you buy a property that has a lease or a rental agreement, you have to honor it.
Even though the lease is to the owner?
Yes, I would. I always honor them. Like even if I buy a property with a tenant in place and the tenant doesn't want to do the seller finance, I will still honor it and respect that agreement, because I don't want to put anybody out in the cold. You don't have to, but I don't. You know what I mean? Because you can say, "Hey, I'm the new owner. I don't like your flavor or color or your of your hair. You have to move out." You know, but I always honor the agreements and the rental agreements. And again, it's still monthly cash flow. Even though I go to them, I'm trying to explain to them the benefits of owning a home and seller financing. You just get some people that's just stuck in the rental mindset. They don't know that they can actually own a home. So they'll say, no, they don't want to do the seller finance, but okay, I'm still getting monthly cash flow from you because of your rental agreement. But once that rental agreement is up, I am not renewing. You get a 30-day writ that I am not renewing your lease, and you have 30 days to move out, well, 3 days to move out after the 30 days is up.
Do you think I should wait for the end of the lease that I give my 30-day notice, or can I do a 30-day notice 30 days before the lease ends?
Yeah, you want to do it 30 days before the lease end. That way they make sure they moved out. I'm not giving them extra time, because then they'll be on a month to month.
Okay. Thanks.
So, you said tax liens, tax deeds, mortgage notes, purchasing properties on, auction websites and things like that. Any other way that you could think of that you purchase properties? Because your information, the way you purchase properties is so vast that like a lot of people won't even start looking or don't know how to look. That's why I wanted to make sure we speak with you.
I don't look at it that way. I think everybody here knows you guys are all on the same experience level as me. But one thing that you haven't mentioned to me is on Marketplace. You talked about selling on Facebook Marketplace, not buying. There aren't a lot of deals out there, but there are some good ones.
Yeah. I talked about this one group on there too. So yeah, you can buy properties on Facebook Marketplace. I never thought about saying that, but look at Desi there. He popped right on up too. What's the group? For sale by owner.
Like Desi Arnaz for real.
Yeah.
That hat.
So you have seller finance homes. You can just type in your name. This is a good one. You know what I mean? Like I love this. I can do a search on Memphis. You can find properties there. You can go to Facebook Marketplace. And I would actually recommend that you pull out your area, zone out your area, because sometimes when you're on there, they give you a little tiny area. You want to, zone out a little bit more your radius to find good ones. Definitely. When I'm looking for properties too on MLS, I don't put in cities like Memphis and stuff like that. I look up the counties, because a lot of times, even though it's in Shelby County or Madison County, you can still find good properties in that county. Makes sense? So if I go to that way, you don't have to get stuck on a town, So don't be still in my area, y'all. So Harding County is a good county in Tennessee that I love. And again, you're not just breaking yourself down to a actual city. They have multiple properties. So this is a property for 57.5 in the same county, you know, but it's in Savannah. It won't pull up, my internet slow. But you see that property for oh, there you go, pulling up now. So again, you've seen how many different cities was in that county, but you're going to find a better radius of properties if you look by county instead of just a city, basically. And I don't know why my internet is slow. I got a new cable wire they changed the gauge and to make it bigger, and my internet is still super slow.
So Sabor, can you speak to even when you're choosing the areas or counties that you're looking for or looking into, how do you do your research and what you're actually looking for as you're searching counties?
So I already have my buying criteria. Of course, I have my dollar amount that I want to spend. Also, I am a brick person. I normally don't buy vinyl properties. Everybody know that they'll do deals with me, and this is the reason why. But you know, vinyl and wood, the hardy plank wood, is hard to replace, and it is expensive to replace. So that's why I always try to find brick. Brick, you can stain it. Don't paint your bricks. Don't ever do that. Stain it, because you have to make sure your brick breathes. If you paint it, then your brick is going to crumble. Because so just FYI. But yeah, that's my buying criteria. Honestly, I try to look for brick homes, and of course the dollar amount that I would like to spend. That's basically. But again, it's different counties, and also my contractor. How far do I want him to drive out? This county actually happened to be the county that he lives in. So a lot of the travel and commute will be cut down. Like he goes to our properties in Memphis. That's what it's like 2.5 hours both ways every day. You know what I mean? So that's basically what I do.
So speak to the actual county though. So is there any demographic information or socioeconomics? Are you looking at any of that stuff for your counties?
Yes. So I know in Hardin County, if there are more country people, there are but again, I look for areas that's 85% rental market.
85% what?
Rental markets.
Okay.
How do you find that out?
So a lot of times you can go type in the county online, but you can also search like Zillow. You know what I mean? Like you'll see how many like rentals are in the area. This one don't have a lot of rentals when you pull it up in this county. But this is Savannah though, this is not by the county though. If I did it by the county, you'd probably find much more rentals. But that's basically how I do it, honestly. But I know my demographic. We all know Memphis is excuse my language, a hood. So you're gonna have a lot of demographics that's gonna be us, and you know what I mean, they don't know anything about credit or money. What's Jackson in, y'all? Madison.
What county is
Okay.
Jackson?
Yeah, I think of Madison. So then you have Madison County. It is a mixture of work people, again, country, but they are working class people. You're going to have a mixture of demographics. Memphis is going to be majority us. Madison is going to be mixed, and then Hardin County is going to be just country people, majority other. I just know my counties.
So you know your counties though, because you lived out in that area. So if it was like for me, somebody, how would I know what is a good county?
I don't know, Greg. I don't know anybody. That's a hard one because there's
Depends on what you mean by good county too. What would you
A
consider?
county where I would say a county where I can actually purchase home, you know, at the price that I want and actually get a return on my money. So I wouldn't want to go to a place where houses are selling for $317,000 because I'm not in that market to buy that kind of home.
Well, I think a lot of stuff is with association of people, you know, like I've bought homes in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm not there, but I know the market because I used to live there. And if you just like Memphis, houses are stupid dirt cheap in Columbia, South Carolina. So I'm just gonna say it's my association, or maybe somebody I work with or did some deals with, just put me on.
But certainly you can search. So like if there are specific states or counties that you're interested in, you can literally Google, but you need to know your own specifics, like Tabor talked about. Who's your target market? Like what areas do you want to be in? Do you not mind being in the hood? Do you want to be where more working, middle class people are? Is that what you're looking for? And
Yeah,
so
but
once
I'm sorry, but Rose, you're going to get a better return on C neighborhoods, C and B plus neighborhoods than you're going to get in an A neighborhood, because you're taking more risks. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Nope, I get that. But what I'm saying is just for research purposes, right? Like if them knowing where they want to shop, so to speak. And then like you talked about price point. What's my price point? If it's, if it's lower income areas, then all you got to do is actually Google demographic of
I was about
whatever
to say that. I was about to say,
that
don't do
state
that,
is.
y'all. I hate that website. So there's a website they call demographics, and it'll tell you all the crime statistics and what type of crimes and all that. By the time you finish reading that, you be like, oh, hell no, I ain't buying over there. I hate that website.
Not that particular website. I'm just
Oh.
saying, if you want to know the demographics of
yeah.
a particular place, not that website. I'm talking about just doing research as far as and you can also do Census Bureau. They keep track of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. The demographics.
Renee, to answer your question from a numbers point of view, that can be easily done when you can Google, cheap cities in the United States, and then and Sabur's probably told you about Rentometer, where you can find out the average rent of any address that you're looking at. So you can get rent ratios pretty easy online. The thing that I'm seeing, I come from California, so I'm used to long distance investing, because you can't invest in California. But so you can do your research by numbers, by looking at prices and looking at comparable rents. But I think you already know that, right?
Yes.
But you're here in Memphis. I've been telling the Harrows, because I know they're in California and they invest here in Memphis. It's really hard to rely on boots on the ground here in Memphis. The lifestyle is a lot slower. The people aren't as motivated. They just don't get things done that quick. And online, you just can't see what is actually here. Even though Google says they are current pictures, I see pictures online, Google pictures or real estate listing pictures, and they're lying. Google is not accurate like I thought it would be. And so that is really a big deal for me since I've been here in Memphis.
Yeah, you're right. Like you're right. It is different. It's difficult, long distance investing. I guess you have to develop those relationships and place your faith and follow through with the people that that help you with them, because we do have some in Missouri as well. And I know we're not on the ground, but
We got a great contractor there that keeps us posted, and he actually does a little bit extra for us, and
checks
a
on
great
the
person.
properties.
He's a
and-
blessing without a doubt. But
Yeah.
you have to build those relationships, and that's all networking. And you got to go through the ups and downs sometimes. Unfortunately, it's just a process, just like anything else.
Takes time.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to a lot of time visit those properties 1 or twice, and that way you get to know the area too.
Yeah.
I don't like what Greg was saying, when I go to Zillow and they have those pictures, I don't look at Zillow. I'll type myself back out of there and go to that first Google page, and I'm doing a street view. I click on street view. I
Yeah.
want to see what the neighborhood looks like. So when people send me, like a lot of people in the group here, they send me addresses of property they're interested in. First thing I do is I go to do a street view. I want to see what the area looks like. I'm riding, because you can ride down the road on those, when you do a street view. So
You're right. Support taught us that. We have to do the street view. We need to look at the area. He won't even look at that property. If that area is not good,
Yeah,
he'll tell us.
the home will tell you a lot in the area, because, if they're well manicured, that those are more owners, what have you. They take care of their property, and, nicer place to want to live, It's gonna be a little bit more costly most likely, but values are better. And that's what you have to look at, and is it gonna fit what you're looking for?
So this is where, instead of going to one of these websites right here, Zillow and all that, I go click on here, Street View, and I'm riding down the road. But this is what I can sell is a Chick-fil-A and all that stuff around there. So I want to see what the whole neighborhood looks like. This is not an upset neighborhood. Oh, they got a party down here at the end. You know what I mean? So they got somebody down there partying right there. So I'm literally riding down the road. There's trash out here, right here in the corner.
But I'm finding that sometimes, even though that date looks like it's current, sometimes I'm finding that that is not accurate, which I'm really surprised. Because I use Google all the time. I'm really happy with it. But lately, I looked at Memphis, looked at some stuff, and I go, wow, that looks great. And I go out there and I look at the Google picture and I say, that's not the same picture.
So you have to go here to see more dates, and they'll tell you what the latest date was that they took.
They are getting more current, but when I'm still seeing a difference from Google and actual.
So Sabor, we are at
sorry.
9:17 p.m.
Sorry.
And generally we do ours for an hour. So we've gone into overtime, which this has been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, Greg. You've done such a beautiful job with just sharing with us your wisdom and knowledge of how you buy properties and create mortgage notes and all of that great stuff. And we're so thankful to you. Did you have any last words? Anything you'd like to say?
I want to ask you, Greg, as your last words, what would be your motivating words to people to help them start buying or moving into, purchasing more? What would be your final words for them?
I hope I can finish my story in another meeting, because it's, I know Sabor, I sent it to you and the Heralds, and I know that you guys liked it. But I think it's kind of like a mindset question. If you really believed, I know there are seminars and there are a lot of stuff out there where you're saying, I believe, but you don't really believe. And so you're trying to make yourself believe. And if you truly believe, how hard would you be working? And so maybe you'd be working a lot harder than you are now. Maybe, I don't know. And that's a personal question. But I kind of like to go with the concept that I like to go through life that I'm doing all I can. And if I'm not, then how can I expect help beyond my whatever I'm doing, help beyond my capabilities, my time, all that kind of stuff. And Don and I are getting incredible. Well, we have huge challenges. We have blessings where we go, oh crap, what are we going to do now? And the challenge just disappears without us doing anything. I can't say how or why, or we look at that and we're just like blown away why it's happening the way it's happening. But the end of my story is crazy. I'd really like to share that with the group, if that's okay with Sabor, in another meeting.
Yes, sure. Of course. We would love to see you come back, man. Share your story. Because, with the biggest part of with real estate, and I'll always say this, man, movement is a movement. You have to start moving. This is a group where there's people on here that has so much knowledge and that has so much experience, not just with real estate, but with every other things. We have business owners on here. We have people that built business credit, personal credit. I mean, there's amazing people here that we need to start. But again, it all starts with movement. So, but anyways, I'm gonna shut
I
up.
just have one other question, for, George. So are you and your wife retired?
That for me,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
but
Reason I
a lot of people ask if I'm working for myself. I say I work for my wife.
Oh my goodness. No, I just asked that question only because most of us work, and so the time that you have available to actually search for properties and do the homework and everything, I'm just wondering if that was a factor.
When he started his real estate, he was working multiple jobs. That's what made him want to hurry up and get out of the job so he can do real
Yeah,
estate.
me too. I'm ready to go too, man. Listen, we have no idea.
Yes.
Work and all those things are not excuse to me, right? Because if I can put in that much time, 40, 60 hours a day for somebody else, but not put in an hour for myself, it is not excuse. And then you want results. It's that's, to me, that's procrastination. I don't procrastinate, you know what I mean? So, working for somebody is fine if you're still working on your goals.
Let's drop the
Also-
mic right there, guys. We're gonna drop the mic right there. We're gonna have George come back on and he's going to share with us again. But we want to drop it right here where we're gonna say, we will not procrastinate. Can y'all say that with me?
Right.
We
will not
procrastinate.
His name is Greg, not George.
Oh, Greg, I'm
Greg.
sorry.
We're going to say it together at the count of
Okay.
3, all right? We,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. We
will
not
Procrastinate.
Thanks,
But
Don.
Greg, I'll give you a call
Thank you
tomorrow
guys
so we can
tonight.
talk. And it's that way you
Okay.
can finish your story let's see what is a good date so you can finish your story for us, okay?
Okay,
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank
you.
you.
Good night. Thank you.
Good
thank
night.
you.
Right.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.